Hi everyone, welcome to Jie Podcast. I'm Celine.
And I'm Sarah.
So today we have a very exciting topic. Today we are talking about, is it the end of COVID? So today we have this topic. End of COVID in Singapore. Okay, must clarify. Okay, because in Singapore from 29 August 2022, mask wearing is no longer required in indoor settings. So except for public transport and in healthcare facilities such as hospitals, clinics, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so
how do you feel about that?
I'm so happy that we are finally mask free. I am so happy. I actually, I actually feel like it was a bit surreal because when I heard the news, actually, my boyfriend told me the news. I was like, wow.
Really?
I don't know why. Because I'm still in UK, and most of the world, even Thailand, Malaysia, I was in Thailand recently. So all these places, they already started lifting all their mask rules. Okay, maybe not all, but I mean, from where I was, most of the mask rules are already gone. And when I went back to Singapore after that, I just felt like,
backwards.
We're back here with COVID. Because actually, if you live in, like for me, if living in London, right, you kind of forget that COVID is even around. You really, really will forget because even for London, all the rules are gone. So even public transport, you don't wear masks and you just go to crowded places. And it has been like almost a year. So when I heard
are
that,
numbers going up?
Huh?
Or is the same? Are numbers?
There's no testing, so we don't know. I mean, for back in the early days, I think before April, the government in the UK government gave free COVID tests. So if you can test and then you can register with the NHS if you have COVID, and it's not like you need to stay at home or anything. You should, but it wasn't like the law that you have to stay at home anymore. So then maybe there were still some numbers, but then after April, you had to pay for the COVID test. It was no longer free, so I don't think anybody paid. Everybody who thought they had COVID, including us, we were just like, okay, if we are sick, then just stay at home. So you don't actually know whether it's just normal flu or COVID. So as I'm recording
just take it as flu.
Yeah, as I'm recording this now, actually I am having a cough and sore throat. I had cough and sore throat, but I did test myself. I am negative, but that's because I'm going on a cruise. But if I wasn't, I would just be like, okay, I'll just stay at home and heal. I don't know whether it's COVID or not. So how do you feel since you've been in Singapore this entire time?
I don't know, like, the thing is, right, okay, wait, the police are going to catch me for this, right? At my workplace, I don't wear mask in my office.
You can what?
Hey, I can. No, I don't know, cannot. I still have to wear the mask.
No, you can. If you are by yourself, you can. Don't wear already.
I'm not by myself.
Oh, okay.
I feel like most people around me like don't really care anymore. They don't really care whether you wear mask or not. It's not that bad like compared to the start. Like, I remember they are like at the start of the pandemic, and then you don't wear a mask, like people would scold you.
Yeah.
Like you see on the news that somebody on MRT didn't wear the mask, then some auntie will scold. And now I feel like people don't care. I feel like people want the mask thing to be gone as well.
Okay, so one thing I expected, right, when this news came out was that there will be people who say that mask should continue staying on. And if you actually go and look at the comments on Straits Times or like Mothership, CNA, there are so many people who want the mask rules to continue.
Why?
No, because some people say like,
they don't want to get COVID or what?
No, because they were like, but what about our elderly or our unvaccinated children? Like, what about them? And then there's still COVID, why we cannot be complacent. Oh my God, I hate that word.
I don't think you will ever get rid of COVID.
Yeah, and
it's so there are so many virus.
There are so many people online that will be like, I rather, I haven't fallen sick in the 2 years. I think I'm going to continue wearing masks until COVID is gone. And every time I read that comment, I feel like,
no, okay, it's a very smart virus. It keeps mutating. It's going to be here for a very long time, I feel.
I also think so. So I was like, I don't think it's ever going to be gone. So do you want to like wear mask for the rest of your life? But some people seem very
Okay,
okay
but they're
with it.
okay. They're okay. Okay lah. If they are okay with it, then I think that's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they should just let me be. Let other people who don't want to wear
Yeah.
masks be.
That's what I
Like, if
think
they want
as
to wear, that's
well.
their problem.
That's right. You know what, that's I saw this comment that was the most stupid comment I saw. Okay, because the headlines when it came out, it says masks are optional, right? So this person, I don't know what they are thinking, but they said this what does masks are optional mean? So should I wear or don't wear? Can you just tell me whether I should wear or not? Then I was like,
It's up to you.
what's wrong with this person? I was like, oh, yeah. So to all the people who, yeah, but the thing I feel very stupid about. Okay, the thing is, when you choose to wear a mask, right? After, I can understand why those people who are very scared of COVID, they will feel some kind of way, because even if you choose to wear a mask and everybody around you doesn't wear a mask, there's no point. You get what I mean?
No, then you have lower chances of getting it because you are wearing. It's
Yeah,
not exactly no point.
but like the mask, every time we were wearing masks last time is because mainly people the health authority or whatever say that it's because you are preventing your germs from spreading, not really to protect yourself from other people's germs. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I guess they're protecting us. So thank you.
No, but if they want to wear, they should go ahead.
Yeah. Go
I'm not
ahead. Go
stopping
ahead. and wear.
you. I'm not stopping you. If you're comfortable, just go ahead.
Just don't
Yeah.
stop us. Don't stop us from being free. Okay, so
Like, I've been seeing a lot of memes about it. Like, everybody, like, I saw this video, people are taking out their lipsticks.
that's what I saw also, the lipstick sales increasing. So I guess
That's
a lot of
funny.
people our age, you are all very excited about this, you know, all the rules getting lifted. So for today's episode, we actually thought of talking about
Reflecting
Yes.
on this pandemic, like, for the last 2 years.
Yeah, so both of us now, we are like in our mid-20s. So this pandemic started when we were 20.
Early 20s.
Yeah, when we were 23. And I feel like, okay, I remember both of us discussing this long ago, that who we thought were the most affected by the pandemic. Like which age group. So who do you think it will be?
Affected by what? Like, is in what way?
So for example, right, I actually really think that people who are very young, kids,
Or very
people,
old, right?
no, not people who are very old. Actually, it's people who are like kids, like young kids, and people who are in secondary school or in JC university who are the most affected. So I just tell you why, because I feel like these are the most exciting years. It's really, you know, your childhood is only that few years. Your adult life is decades long. 20 onwards until maybe you're like 60, you're considered an adult, right? Before you're an elderly. But your teenage years, you only have that like 10 years. JC, you only have 2 years. If you entered JC at the start of the pandemic, you basically didn't ever get to experience JC or poly. You never got to experience what it's like. All the overseas trips that you could have gone with your school, with your friends, you never had that chance. Or like, you know, even to be in a classroom and interact with your friends, play, okay, maybe not the orientation games that NUS plays, but like, you know, normal orientation things, you know, to have all the camps and everything, all these very, very fun things that you only experience when you're young. Because how often are you as an adult, right? Like a working adult, oh yeah, let's go for orientation camp, or let's go to what's that outbound, is it the outbound school or whatever? OBS.
No, it's fine. Like, this OBS thing, right? Even if there was no pandemic, I wouldn't have gone for it.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't also. I'm not a camp person. But I'm just saying is that those people who like to do all these stuff things. And even though I didn't like it at that time, but I made a lot of my close friends from secondary school back then.
Do all
Like,
these kind of things.
yeah, because even though, okay, both me and my secondary school friends, we don't really like these type of things. But you know, at night sometimes, like after all the day's activities are over, then we sleep in the same room. So we will talk, or sometimes, you know, like sneak snacks. So, you know, it's just these kind of things that I feel is sad to miss out on. And then as for young children, obviously, I mean, they have the blessing of not knowing what's going on, and they probably won't remember this, but so I guess that's not so bad. But you know, you're still missing out. You're only a young child for such a short time. Then, you know, my niece, she was not even in primary. She wasn't even in primary. I don't even know whether she's in primary school now, but she is at the age where she's in preschool. So I remember my cousin telling me, or she was telling me that in the kindergarten they will tape up the ground and then they have to sit in like squares. So they play by themselves. They cannot play with their friends.
Oh my god, wait, then don't come. I thought the point of the kindergarten is to socialize with other kids.
Yeah, but I mean sometimes like parents also send them there because they need to work. So, and it's not, and I think, you know, it's also to get them in the routine, because if they are out of school for 2 years, they might feel very strange going back in. So I'm not sure what exactly is the point, but I only remember she told me that she sit in the square, then she'll play with her own toy, and then, you know, like she cannot play with her friend, she cannot talk to her friend. I mean, it's just very sad to hear, lor, you know what I mean? You know, when we are children, then you go to like the playground, all this kind of experience, they don't get to do it.
Okay, I think it's children, the young ones, because now I think about it, right? For us, right, we understand why we need to wear the mask, but they don't. So like, just imagine, like, they don't, then they cannot. Come on, it's very difficult to breathe with the mask on. So it's like they don't understand what is going on. So I feel very sad for them. And another group that I feel sad for is the pandemic pets.
Pets?
Yeah.
The dogs
Like people
and the cats?
adopt the pets during the pandemic because they are lonely. Then wait, did I tell you like the pet abandonment rate went up?
No,
Because
you didn't.
like people can go overseas now, then they throw their pets away.
Why can't you just send them to the boarding house and then take them back?
No, they don't want the pet anymore. Like they can go out already. They had the pet because they were lonely, but then now because they can go out, they're not lonely anymore. So they don't need a
That's
pet.
horrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Okay, let's start our journey for this whole pandemic. Like you can talk about the start. It was like January 2020, I remember. Because I was very lucky. I had my exchange right before the pandemic.
Oh yes.
So when I came back the day before Singapore had its first COVID case, I remember. So I had my fair share of fun already when I came back.
I remember right before COVID. No. At the point COVID already happened, but I remember before Singapore borders locked down, the Singapore and Malaysia border locked down, I went to JB for overnight stay, and I remember that day was it was a day that people pray to a specific deity. So the entire like Johor, right, was lighting fireworks at night. So it was like a very, very, very fun, like very magical night. And then I went back to Singapore, and then I could never go out again. So that was something. And I remember, so at the start of the pandemic, right, we all thought that, this will only last like a few months, just like SARS.
Yeah, because you thought that the lockdown would work.
Oh yes, we thought that lockdown would work. But it didn't work. And so 2 years later, here we are talking about it. And I remember the worst part about lockdown, right? The first 3 months. No. The first, how many months was it that we totally couldn't go out?
2 months. 2 months and phase 1, I remember.
Okay.
April to June.
Oh, you know what? The lockdown, I remember now. The lockdown, right, started The
your
day
birthday.
of my birthday. The day before my birthday, they announced the lockdown. Then on my birthday was the first day of lockdown. I was so upset.
The phase one started the day before my birthday. So got a little bit of comfort there, lah, you know. At least it's not a circuit breaker. At least it's phase one, even though like there's not much difference.
Oh yeah. Well, now you mention all these names. You know. I
Oh, I
used to
still
work.
remember.
I used to work in the ICA. So I did. I don't know if this is confidential. Okay, I mean I used to work in the ICA. It's not confidential, but I did work in the department that was handling the entry of people during COVID. And so I'm not going to mention anything about the job, but I just know that this job, they had so many abbreviations of like, for example, the department was called Safe Travel Office, like STO, all these kind of things. And I remember after quitting, right, and I moved to UK, and then my friends, I'm still very, very good friends with the people from ICA, but when they talk to me about the things that I used to do, right, I was like, it's been so long since I heard that name. What does it mean? So now you mentioned circuit breaker, I'm like, ugh. The memories of circuit breaker, like, ugh.
I hate circuit breaker.
Yes.
Like just put it out there. I hate it. Okay, but I don't I don't disagree with what they did at the start of the pandemic. Like I could understand the lockdown, I could understand the mask, I could understand the safe distancing.
Actually,
But it just came a time that I got very sick of it.
Actually,
But
I
at the
think
start, I could understand.
so I know it seems very normal now to have like to hear like lockdown, right? But you remember at that time, right? I just remember thinking to myself, how can it be that the entire world has stopped working, has just stopped everything? It's such a surreal thing to me because like before this, you never ever thought that suddenly all travel will be banned. Suddenly nobody can leave their house. The entire world has just stopped. That was like so surreal to me for everybody. It was just such a terrible time, and I'm so glad
It
that
was like
we're out of it.
I cannot think of any reasons that people would still want to support the lockdown now, for now.
Oh my god. Same. Every time the government announced that some measures are going to be relaxed, like, okay, there's no more lockdown, there's no more social distancing, then there will be people online like, why we should lock down and lock down our borders, lock down until COVID is over. I'm like, so when is COVID over? When in your definition is COVID going to be over? Then why don't you also say like lockdown until there's no more flu in Singapore? No more flu, no more COVID, all
No
the
more
contagious
dengue.
disease, yeah. No more dengue, no more HIV, like that, just close down forever. Like what? The thing is, right? At first I could understand these people because this disease is very unpredictable.
It's very contagious.
And yeah,
correct. It's very new and people didn't know a lot of things about it.
But then when the vaccines came out already, right? I just couldn't understand what people are going on about. It's like when and when the death rate started to fall a lot. And the death rate was like, then people still like, there's some unfortunate.
In Singapore?
I mean,
like
I'm just talking about.
The death rate was very low in Singapore. But
Yeah,
for
I'm
other
just talking
countries,
about
it
in
wasn't
Singapore.
as...
I'm just talking about in Singapore. Like, I mean, I know it was quite unfortunate that there are some young people who also succumbed to the disease and passed away, but to lock down forever because of the risk that you may die. Honestly, right? What kind of life are you living if you are constantly living in fear of dying? Okay, I'm saying like in a safe way, in a safe measured way. Nobody's asking you to jump off buildings and then say that. But I'm just saying that once the vaccines came out, and the death rate like was very low. All this time was very low. Like, do you want to continue living like that? So even now with the mask, people are like, wow, why? We should continue wearing masks. So yes.
Okay,
That
but
was
do
that.
you gain anything from the circuit breaker? Let's talk about the good side. For me, no, nothing. I gain nothing. Like
You very
nothing. I feel
funny.
like I lost more things.
Let's talk about the good stuff. No, nothing.
No, maybe you have, but I don't. I only can remember all the bad. Okay, usually people only can remember the bad things, but I can't
Okay,
remember
okay,
any
okay, okay,
good.
okay. I do have some things that I got out of the pandemic, okay? And where I got out of what I got out of
No, no,
this
the lockdown.
lockdown, okay,
Just
specifically
the
lockdown,
lockdown.
right?
Yeah.
Is that at the point when lockdown happened, I told myself that after I come out from this, I cannot be clinging on to problems that how should I say this? I decided then, because I was so free, that I will make sure all of my old problems are settled.
What kind of old problems do you have?
Relationships that I didn't like, I would cut them off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really did all of that during the pandemic, during the lockdown. I was like, you know what, I cannot go after this. This is like a life-changing thing for me. I cannot go out of the lockdown with the same stupid, like, you know, relationships that I used to have, or you know. And also, like, okay lah, during the lockdown, I spent a lot of quality time with my dog. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Okay,
Oh, I learned to cook.
I
I learned to cook.
called my friends. I always video call people because I was so bored at home.
Oh yeah,
So
we did exercise together.
yeah, there were some friends that I became closer to
Yeah,
during the
so
pandemic.
I guess that's about it.
That's about it.
Okay, so another the group of people that we want to talk about is like the migrant workers. What do you?
Migrant workers and the safe distancing ambassadors.
Oh god, the safe and distance. Yeah, but okay, let's talk about the migrant workers first. So Singapore actually had a massive increase of COVID cases because of the migrant workers and the dormitories, and because of that, the migrant workers were very unfortunately kept in the dormitories for a very, very, very long time.
It was more than two. It was longer than the lockdown period, right? More than 2 months.
It was way longer than the lockdown period. And even when the rest of the population could freely go about, they were still trapped in the dormitories. And the reason for this that was given was because of the how closely they live together in the dormitories, that if one person get it would spread so quickly, and then, you know, spread it to the rest of the society. And
I mean, there was this period that when they reported the number of COVID cases, they say how many percent is from the
dormitory,
dormitories
yeah.
and how many community cases. I remember the term now, community cases.
Actually, what I don't know. I think back about that, right? I always felt very, very sad for these migrant workers, like the people living in the dormitories, because they are literally being caged up and they lost a lot of their freedom. They couldn't, you know, like, I mean,
It's like jail.
yeah, it's like worse than jail. Like jail. I don't know whether jail got privacy, but they're so close together, and they were like literally going crazy inside the dormitory. You know, I'm very surprised they didn't like go on protest and
Lose
try.
it.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know. I feel like
I would have lost it.
we would have lost it a long time. I think after the first week, we were
Yeah.
like, okay, that's
Even
enough.
the circuit breaker, I feel like I almost lost it.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, to know that the rest of the population is outside enjoying their life, and then you are still stuck inside, right? Just because, you know, oh, they live in a dorm, or like they're migrant workers. It was very, I think a lot of people didn't want to think about them, because it was a very painful topic to touch. And also, there's nothing, to be honest, there's nothing that we could have done lah to help with that circumstance anyway.
I don't know. What I didn't like was how the people reacted to the migrant workers cluster. Like the stupidest one I remember was that they say the migrant workers date their mates, right? Date the helpers, domestic helpers. Then the
Mm-hmm.
domestic helpers, then they will get the COVID, and then the domestic helpers will go back home, like their boss house, and then will spread around. Like that was the
Oh my, yeah, I
like some people
remember.
commenting that.
I remember
I was
people
like,
commented that, oh, okay, so during this period, I remember that there was also this news that the domestic workers are going to be allowed 1 day off in the month. Like, it's a compulsory rest day for the domestic workers that they cannot pay with money to cover the leave day.
mhm,
Okay, so I don't know how exactly it works, but I think for domestic workers generally out of the week, right, you have 1 day that is your rest day. Then after that, some employers they choose to pay them to work 7 days a week. And
mhm.
for some reason, this was not enforced by law that they should have a rest day. Okay, I don't know why. So there was this news I remember that came out like a few months ago. I don't know, it was a few months or last year that they must have 1 day in the month a compulsory day of rest. And some people were commenting on the post like, oh, what if my maid go out, make friends, meet her friends, and then like she come back with COVID? Who's going to look after my mother if my maid is like, not at home? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, look after your own mother, like seriously, and yeah, then they'll say things like, what if she get COVID? So what if you get COVID from outside and then you pass it to your maid? Like it works both ways, but so should you also stay at home all the time? Like what are you talking about? Like I just feel like people, when it comes to migrant workers and domestic workers, right? Domestic
Oh, and the
helpers.
nurses also, like remember they didn't I remember reading news that they scolded the nurse for taking the same
Yeah,
bus
yeah,
or
yeah.
the same leave.
They are so
There are a lot of crazy people out
yeah, no,
there.
they
Let's just
becomes
put
like
it that
so
way.
inhumane. It's like they really like think of these people.
Themselves.
They think of these people like lower class, like, oh yeah, I can go out, I need the freedom, my mental health is important, but like, oh yeah, they come to Singapore, they should be very happy that they have a job lah, like they come here to support, they shouldn't be thinking of all this. Like it was just downright cruel, and I really think, right, I think if the MOM let me, I will go on Facebook and find all these people making all these kind of stupid comments, right, and then put them in a blacklist and then tell them that they should never be able to hire any more
Hire.
domestic helpers and migrant. They really should not be allowed, because all these comments, right? Obviously, I cannot even imagine the kind of living conditions all their domestic helpers are living at home. If they can publicly say all these stuff things on, they can say all these things on a public platform and be so proud of themselves. Who's going to look after my mother if my maid go out with her friends on Sunday? Look after your own mother, like what? Just
And I suddenly remember something, the conspiracy theories. About the
yes.
vaccine, both the vaccine and the virus. Oh, there were lots of them. I remember they say the vaccine was the mark of the devil.
Oh yes, I remember that. No, no. Also another one. I remember the vaccine contains aborted fetuses, so we cannot take the vaccine. Do you remember that one?
Uh-huh.
Contains cells from the fetus, so we need to consider, or like COVID is caused by 5G towers.
Oh yes.
It was
Then
just the rare the
engineered virus.
the Wuhan lab virus. It's just the era, right? The era of fake news. It was the most rampant fake news. I've never heard more fake news than I did at that period. There were just so much stuff. I remember posts coming out on, I don't know, Christian websites about this aborted fetus debate. Right, whether Christians should take the vaccine. I tell you, during this period of the COVID, right, never has my faith in Christians ever been lower than during this period, because there was so much. You always think that people who are going to church, okay, at least they are supposed to be wisdom, have wisdom, discernment, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. The amount of nonsense that was coming out from this group of people at that time, I tell you, it was at all-time high.
It's always from them, right?
No, for some reason, right? I don't know if it and the thing is I don't know. I feel very sad shading this group of people, especially since we're also Christians. But
Mm.
I just can't help it because I think my faith at that time was really at all time low because of all these stupid things. Oh, you take, then people can track you or what. If you are taking the vaccine, you are supporting like abortion. What I need to consider whether I should take the vaccine because like later got like we are have
I go to hell.
baby cells, whatever, all this kind of, and then what? Oh, I remember there was
You read a lot of them, right?
there was so many, and then remember there was one also like
No, I
COVID.
didn't bother reading. I only read the very popular ones, like the engineered virus and the mark of the devil. I only remember those two.
I
It sounds like you read a lot of them.
It's not that I read a lot, okay? It's not that I wanted to know. It's just that it came to me. Okay, it came to me. Okay? That's why I felt very disappointed. And I felt very disappointed at that time. I felt very disappointed that when the vaccines came out, right? People were so hesitant to take the vaccines.
Actually, I could understand because it's a new technology.
Yeah, but because of all the conspiracy theories, it was so.
Okay, if you don't, I feel like if people didn't want to take it because it was a new technology, right? I still can understand where they come from. But if it's because of the conspiracy theories, then like I couldn't understand.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, and what?
It was a wild time.
It was wild. It was
Where-
wild, but I'm quite glad that the Singapore government basically forced everyone to get a vaccine. Like they really, really, no matter. I remember
But
at
they
the
make it very hard for people who don't take the vaccine. I remember. They cannot enter the malls.
even until now.
You cannot enter your workplace, right? Office or something.
Yeah, you can't.
Basically, I remember it was mainly the malls that you cannot enter.
Yeah, I remember that if you I remember at the start, right, they said, oh, vaccines are optional. And then after that, it's still optional. But if you don't want to
You
live
bear all
properly,
the inconvenience.
if you don't want to live anymore, then yes, it's optional for you. If you just want to stay at home, then it is optional for you. So even up to today, so like as we mentioned, mask wearing is going to end, right? So, but then they still have a list of things that unvaccinated people cannot do. So you cannot attend events that have more than 500 people. So no more concerts for you. You cannot go into any F&B outlets, which is I think the worst one.
It's still there.
Yeah, that's what the news say. The news say that if you're unvaccinated, even if there's no more mask wearing for everybody, you cannot eat at a F&B outlet. Okay, to be fair, nobody checks now. Okay.
Oh yeah, they don't have the safe entry thing anymore.
Yeah, so if you want to go and eat at a food court, I'm not suggesting this, but if you eat at a food court and then suddenly you see like somebody checking, then you just pick up your stuff and run. But that's your life.
I do not know any that has not taken the vaccine.
I know some people who at the start refused, but I don't know about now. I didn't ask. Probably take
I know
already lah.
one, but she got COVID twice, so she's considered vaccinated.
Oh, is it like that one?
But it's not in Singapore. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I remember you must have a previous infection or something.
So thank you for joining us on our memory of our 2 years of trauma. So after all of this, after these 2 years, now that COVID is kind of over, how do you feel? How do you feel being out on the other side? Have you learned anything?
Because your COVID trauma.
I'm asking you.
Are you asking
Have
me?
you learned anything? No, have you learned anything?
No.
Okay. I learned that
No, like the
anything
thought
can
of my-
happen.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. No, like at the top of my head, I don't feel like I gained anything during that COVID.
You know
In
one
fact,
thing?
I
No, no,
felt
no,
like
no,
my
no.
life would have been better if it didn't happen.
I tell you, okay,
I'm
one
still
thing
standing
that I
by that.
appreciate a lot, right, is that now a lot of companies are allowing you to do hybrid working.
There are people complaining that they have to come back to office.
I mean, nobody likes to go back to office. Not many people like to go back to office. I can understand that. I'm just saying that, you know, like now a lot of the private companies, I think government companies generally, they still prefer like a more standard, not government companies, but government jobs. Generally, they still prefer more of like a standard. But, you know, a lot of private companies, they are starting with this hybrid, which means that you can spend more time with your family, with your friends, your balance your social life and your work life more, which is, I think, one of the best things to come out of COVID. Really, one of the best things.
This for like a certain kind of job. Like not all jobs fall into this.
Of course, not all jobs, but I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't used to be this way. Last time it used to be everybody has to go to office all the time, and yeah, that's why I think that's
Okay,
one of the things that I appreciate.
I enjoyed the smaller crowds during the peak hours. Not now, previously. Right now it's insane. It's like, you know, in NUS, right, the canteens now, right, if you go at like 11:30, it's like a concert.
Okay.
The thing- yeah, it's like it's really pre-pandemic now. So I appreciated the smaller crowds. That's the only good thing.
Yeah. Okay. So let us know what you think of let us know your COVID experience, and you know whether you will still be wearing masks after this, after Monday. I think some people will still be wearing masks. Let me know how many people wear masks in Singapore. I heard a lot of people still like to
Okay.
wear masks outdoors. But yes, that's all for us today, from us today, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.